Greetings, Leo and Leo rising. This is your Western forecast for July 2024. Two big themes. The sun goes into Leo on July the 21st, and it will be there for 4 weeks. But discerning, decision-making, planning Mercury goes into Leo July the 2nd to the 25th. Charming, cooperative, creative Venus will be in Leo July the 11th through August the 4th. So for the most part, all of July, you've got these really benefic energies, and the sun will just clarify and put more into spotlight that Mercury Venus in your first house of new ventures, new beginnings, being more social. Mercury could be all this networking, conversations, writing, Venus, social, creative. But the first 3 weeks of July, the sun is always in Cancer, which is the month prior to your birthday. Cancer is the sign before Leo. It's a wrapping up. It is bringing closure. It is an incubation period. The new moon, which will be July the 5th, in your 5th in Cancer. So the new moon is now your intentions are set in motion, and that Cancer energies will hold to the first week of August when we have the next new moon. But this new moon in Cancer is being very stabilized with pragmatic grounding Saturn. Very good for feeling solid, secure, for business. But you've got these two big themes. The 12th house, research, holding pattern, behind the scenes, and the first house of new beginnings. Now, before I break that down more, if you enjoy these kinds of videos and would like to see more of them, click like and subscribe. And don't forget to click on the notification bell so you can receive the latest postings. And if you go into the description box underneath the video, you'll find direct links to book an astrology reading or to sign up for my 2-question offer. All right. The Venus can be creative, but also social. Venus is in Cancer from the middle of June last month through July the 11th. And social Venus in the shadow sector is usually when you want more low-key. Some of you just want to be left alone and have more privacy. Or Leos are very sociable people, but when sociable Venus is in your shadow sector, you don't have to be wanting to be alone. You just may want to be not as social, resting more, or only hanging out with family or with 1 or 2 good friends and all the big social networking, is you would keep it a lower profile. But this could also be very favorable for Venus's creative. So a lot of creative development that's really being set in motion the first 11 days. That sun is keeping a real spotlight on that 12th house. A lot of development behind the scenes. And that new moon, excellent with Saturn. Whatever you're developing and building, that Saturn is keeping it very grounded and practical. Now, Mercury, what are you thinking about, talking about, negotiating, is in Leo, as I said, July the 2nd to July the 21st. So there's a lot of conversations, a lot of networking, and with Venus, this could be all this social creative energies. But Mercury, Venus, Mercury could be writing, selling, communications, about moving into new ventures, new directions. With the Venus, it could be creative ventures, or you're looking for a win-win cooperative arrangement. And then by the 21st of July, when the sun goes into Leo, now all of that is really in the spotlight. So I do think that July, with the new moon in Cancer, the sun in Cancer, you're studying for a degree, you are rehearsing a show, you are developing a project to be released, starting a business that will not be released and debuted until later. Now, that first house there's this new direction coming in, but the 12th house, you got to build it and be patient. Now, Mars, ambitious, assertive Mars, is in Taurus until the 15th. So from early June until the July the 20th, the Mars, every 2 years, is transiting Taurus. Taurus is 10 signs past Leo. So there's a lot of ambition and courage and drive of Mars in your career sector. So this is also telling me that you're working on a major project, but there's a lot of fine-tuning and research and development before it's all accomplished or ready to, be debuted. But this Mars is going to be aligning with Uranus every 2 years on July the 15th. That's going to be an important day. Maybe the day before, maybe the 16th, early that week. But Mars, once every 2 years, when it crosses Uranus, there could be very explosive energies. Now, on the positive, Mars is all that demanding. Uranus is personal freedoms. It's in your 10th house of careers. This might be that it's coming to a head for you to start announcing to the world you're quitting your job or you're starting a new business. And it's going to be with the Mars Uranus, it could be very exciting. It could be very nerve-wracking. Now, on the 21st, just 6 days later, will be the full moon. So from the 20th, 21st, 22nd, 23rd, but around the 21st, the peak of the full moon, when everything will start being revealed. But this full moon is in your 6th house of work. New jobs, that 6th house could be launching new business or learning new job skills. But that full moon bringing everything to light will be in harmony with idealistic, imaginative, dreamy Neptune. So you're getting really hopeful and excited, and it's around work projects around the 21st of July. But on the full moon, decision-making Mercury will be forming a 90-degree angle to Uranus. Now, Mercury to Uranus doesn't happen very often, maybe 4 times a year. Could make sudden Uranus decisions Mercury. And it could be around all new beginnings because the Mercury, Venus, Sun is in the 1st house of visibility, new undertakings. The full moon around the 21st is in your 6th house of work. And the Mars-Uranus around the 15th was this dynamic, exciting, rebellious energy to break free. And that could be, some of you would be like, I've had it, I can't work this job anymore. But it's usually probably a lot better if you've been, with that 12th house, been working on developing a business, whether it's an online business or what have you, and then starting to launch it by that 15th with the Mars-Uranus in your 10th house of careers, and then July the 21st with the full moon in the 6th house of work. Now also, Mars leaves Taurus and goes into Gemini once every 2 years from July the 20th to September the 4th. Mars in Gemini, Gemini is 11 signs past Leo, or Leo rising. Now, Mars can be impatient, aggressive, driven, anxious, restless, but it's being very protected by fortunate, optimistic, prosperous Jupiter. Because if you've been watching my videos, Jupiter is a 12-year cycle, and it went into Gemini the end of May 2024 for 12 months to May of 2025. So Mars joining Jupiter July the 20th to September the 4th, all kinds of goals and work projects, initiating new undertakings, especially with that heavy first house, that's Mars. But it's being amped up with lots of opportunities and growth and luck and protection with Jupiter. But the Mars-Jupiter in general could be lucky work projects, Mars the work, Jupiter the lucky. But the Mars-Jupiter is in the 11th house. And the 11th house could be getting support from friends, 11th house of friendships, or associates, or networking. That's the 11th house. On another level, the 11th house deals with your long-range goals and dreams and aspirations. And with the Mars-Jupiter from the get-go, is feeling really excited and optimistic and really going for these new goals and aspirations. And I think with that Mercury, Venus, Sun all in the first house in Leo, you're developing, you're behind the scenes, you're crossing the T's, you're dotting the I's, you're doing all the fine tuning for a major new business project. Now, Leos are very creative and romantic. So you certainly don't want to just hear about business being a Leo. Leo rules playfulness and romance and children. Venus, loving Venus, social Venus will be in Leo, July the 11th to April the 4th, in your sign or your rising sign. You're going to be feeling more attractive, more sociable, more people will be attracted to you. You're going to be feeling more sociable, but you're going to have it aligned with Mercury for the first 3 weeks, and then the Sun goes into Leo, putting a spotlight on the Venus. So Mercury to Venus is all that networking, socializing, brainstorming ideas. And then with the Sun is when you're coming out of that incubation, that holding pattern. So that Mercury, Venus, Sun in Leo could be very favorable for romance, falling in love, or bringing romance back into a relationship that's gotten too routine. Can be also Venus, could be really inspiring new creative projects. So there's a nice balance with the personal life, the romantic life. Also, if you're not an artist, you just might be being more appreciating the arts. And that could just be music, theater, films. So there's all that creative energies. But it's a nice balance between the social and the romantic and the creative, with some major important new goals. And with Mars in the 11th with Jupiter, you could be getting a lot of support from friends or associates. But the 11th is also about groups. And you might be starting an organization or a group endeavors, or a group could be really supporting you. But this could also be very favorable from the end of July through August for being successful with any type of teamwork. Mars is very independent and usually wants to do its own thing, much more ego-oriented, more of that leadership. But when it's in the 11th, you're actually more productive working with collaborations, with a team. And then to have Jupiter there the whole time Mars is in Gemini, it's bringing nothing but luck and growth and opportunities. I want to thank you for watching. If you like information on how to book an astrology reading or check out my 2-question offer, visit my website at gardino.co. That's .co. Until next month, be safe and well.